She worked hard for us to have what we have. And so did my dad. Even to this day, I work hard to prove to her that I'm going to make it.
I don't know. I don't know how to. Being black is me. that's a screwball question.
But I think we have a lot of joy. You could see it like in a church service. Like we just do things with a lot of joy, despite whatever circumstances might be present. To me, Black culture
is being able to have tradition,
greatness, beating the odds,
and how hard it has been and the challenge that we faced to get to where we are today.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like a loaded thing. Like, who knows exactly what culture is?
It's not a simple question.
Black culture
Can mean so many different things. You know, it's just part of a lived experience. It's something that
goes back a long way.
Slavery and
the history of how we came to be here.
Having to start literally a lot of times from the bottom.
People use the word resiliency a lot, and there's like a component of sadness to me in there that like we have had to be so resilient.
That's the reason why we work, right? That's the reason why we grind. For some of us that have kids is, try to make a life, not just everything given to them, but just make it a little bit easier to succeed towards their goals. So.
My father really pushing for us to be, better than he was.
My grandfather, he showed our family what hard work is and kind of where it could take you.
He wound up being a cook, the tradition, he wound up being a chef in the service. So he, for 20 years, and wound up going from 20 years there to McDonnell Douglas as the chief of security.
We came here in the 1820s. We landed in Texas as slaves.
My grandfather was a slave in Arkansas, and the owner slept with one of the slaves. And that's how my grandfather was born.
As soon as slavery ended, the women in my family, they took to becoming the help. So taking care of those same families, their children.
That don't mean that the opportunities wasn't there, it's just the opportunities was different.
While there's so much history and beauty there, and I still have a lot of pride in my family, having that experience, like I want us to have a say in if we want to stay in that role or if we want to aspire to something else, not something greater, but like something else.
So I had a chance to speak with my grandfather. He lived to be 108 years old. So I had a chance to speak with him when he was 104 about the history and what he went through. So there's a lot of pride in the name of the Brandons, and we stay strong when it comes to doing what we have to do to be successful.
And I was blessed to have two parents that kept me focused on my goals.
A mother who is so accepting of other cultures, who is a white woman, and a man who loves my mother with all of his heart, no matter what kind of race. And I think like that's a beautiful thing in itself, but also a really big learning experience.
And that was an important thing that I always wanted to prove to my parents. Thank you for what you did for me. And I want to show you that your efforts in putting together a program for me and my brother and my sisters to be able to be successful and to go to college, something that they weren't able to do. And we were able to achieve that. So I'm really proud of that.
To like summarize it, really, we need to like take what we've learned and like accomplish the dreams that we have and know that like, our ancestors' dreams that were, like the dreams that were deferred, like if we're in the position to achieve our dreams, like to fight for it and to fight for others to be in their own position.
Song, of course, was by Ella Fitzgerald, who presented an orchestra from the famous Savoy Ballroom in the heart of Harlem.
Segregation in public schools was not legal.
Considers white and Negro.
Escorting first-grade Negro children into the school building.
I have a dream when we turn not from each other or on each other, but towards one another, and we find that we do not walk alone. That's where courage comes from.